Hare Krishna. Can you all see the screen? Okay. So this is chapter number 1 of the lessons, Bhagavad Gita lessons, which Sir has prepared. Sir has put a lot of effort to prepare these lessons, and he has shared many divine pearls here, and we can just it's like somebody prepares a feast for us and we just go and eat. So this is like this. So this book, this all 10 chapters are like very beautifully prepared feast of concepts from Bhagavad Gita, and we just come and we read this and we enjoy the beautiful feast, right? So this is, we'll start reading from section 1. You all have read this already during the course, but we'll just revise here, and also we'll be doing exercises. So let's start with the first section. We'll chant some prayers first. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let's start reading with this section 1. The title is Setting the Scene for the Course. Why should I study the Bhagavad Gita? So the major highlights are Bhagavad Gita is very important literature. It's the most important literature amongst all the Vedic compositions. Vedic compositions include what? Okay. Question. You can write the answer in the chat box. So, what are Vedic compositions? What are Vedic compositions? Give some examples. I can start with one. Like Rig Veda, right? This is one Vedic composition. Upanishads, very good. So there are 108 principal Upanishads, but there are the many more Upanishads also. So Upanishads are the philosophical content of the Vedas. Samved, Puranas. So Samved is the main 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Samved, Yajurved, Atharvaved. So these are the 4 texts, and they mostly contain mantras which are used for various yagyas, like Agnihotra, Vajpaya. There are so many yagyas. So these 4 Vedas, they contain different mantras which are recited during different yagyas. But the philosophical content is there in the Upanishads. And Puranas are there, which describe historical events in light of the philosophy. And the topmost amongst the Puranas is Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Purana, which is it is given the status of the prime jewel of philosophical deliberations. So, for example, so Vyasadeva compiled the 4 Vedas, and then there were, like Abhishek Prabhu has mentioned, Samhitas, there were Aranyakas, there are Agamas, and then he compiled Upanishads, the philosophical content. Now this was a huge literature. Now he has to summarize it, right? So he wrote the summary in the form of, somebody can answer? He wrote the summary of all the Vedic literature in the form of formulas. What are those formulas known as? Those formulas are known as Vedanta Sutra. Yes, Tarun Prabhu has answered. So Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutras are those formulas. And then now these formulas are very cryptic. everything is coded there in a very dense way. So now to unfold the meaning of Vedanta Sutras, Vyasadeva compiled the Bhagavad Purana or the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is why that is Bhagavatam. Now what is Bhagavad Gita? So Bhagavad Gita, so let's come back to Upanishads. So Upanishads contain very dense philosophical deliberations, very deep philosophical conversations. Upanishads are mostly in the form of conversations. Somebody is asking questions, and then great learned sages or great learned Mahajanas, they are replying, and those conversations are in the form of Upanishads. Very deep philosophical understanding. Now, the same questions which are discussed in Upanishads, the questions about our existence, our existential questions, and the questions about knowledge, what is the prime goal of knowledge, and what is the that topmost knowledge, knowing which you don't lack any other knowledge, right? For example, if I learn, like if I do BTech in let's say chemical engineering, after finishing BTech I cannot say I am complete in knowledge, right? There are so many things which I don't know, and that I will require in my life so many things which I don't know still. So people go for PhD. Even after PhD they will think, oh, I didn't do data science. I should have done data science. And then they will go to data science, and then again they will think, oh, I didn't do machine learning. I should have done machine learning also. Then they will do machine learning, and then they will say, oh, I didn't do deep learning. I will do like that. It never ends. Like whenever they learn something, they always feel that there is something lacking. So what is that? Knowing which nothing further remains to be known. That is one of the prime questions which comes in almost all the Vedic literatures. So that question, those same questions are deliberated in Bhagavad Gita. But the speciality of Bhagavad Gita, which distinguishes or which makes it shine amongst all the Upanishads, shine the brightest, what is that speciality? So I told you that Upanishads contain very deep philosophical deliberations on questions, very important questions, and the same questions are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. Then what is it that makes Bhagavad Gita so special, even more than the other Upanishads? If you read this paragraph, you will get the answer. Read it carefully. Read the first paragraph very carefully. Anybody is having any difficulty in reading the paragraph? Please let me know. Are you reading? Are you able to read? Yes. Okay. Yes, Dheeraj has hit the nail right on the nail. So he has said it is spoken by Absolute Truth himself, Lord Krishna. Yes. So those answers are discussed by Lord Krishna himself. So Lord Krishna himself is giving the answers there. That is what makes Bhagavad Gita so special. That is why Gita is also known as, another name of Gita is Gita Upanishad. It is an Upanishad because the same content is discussed, and therefore it is called Gita Upanishad. And the answers are given by Supreme Lord Krishna himself. Song of the Lord. Yes. Okay. So I would suggest you read this entire section on your own, and then we will discuss these questions. First question is, who is Bhagavad Gita endearing to? First question is, who is Bhagavad Gita endearing to? You read this section and then give the answer. Let's see who answers the first. open book exam. It's a reading test, a comprehension test. Who is Bhagavad Gita endearing to? Seekers of truth. Tarun Prabhu has answered, seekers of truth. Everyone. Who is seeking perfection? Yes. So the answer is somewhere here. I have highlighted the answer. The answer is there. You just have to do a little text search, endearing, the same term, keyword match, and endearing to all those who seek truth, who look for perfection, who are interested in the complete science of everything, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, and nationality. Right? Verbatim, the answer is there in the first paragraph itself. Dheeraj Prabhu has answered, who is a friend and devoted to Lord Krishna. Yes, definitely it is endearing to devotees of Krishna, friends of Krishna, but it is also endearing to those who are not yet devotees of Krishna, or who have not yet realized they are devotees of Krishna, but they are inquisitive and they want to know, and they are innocent. They are genuine. They are innocent means they do not. They're not full of envy unnecessarily, right? They don't unnecessarily envy Krishna. So why should you envy Krishna? Okay. Next, in how many languages has Bhagavad Gita been translated? Quick text search. In how many languages has Gita been translated? Somebody should answer it quickly. All languages, yes. Thank you. So this is the answer. There is not a single language in the world in which Gita has not been translated, which means in all the languages of the world it has been translated. All human languages probably. Okay. Why is Bhagavad Gita timeless? Next question. Why is Bhagavad Gita timeless? Why is Bhagavad Gita a timeless science? Yes. So the answer is roughly here.
Has started.
All other bodies of knowledge are subject to change, but this body of knowledge contained in Bhagavad Gita is timeless and eternal. So this is one perspective. Another way to approach this answer is, as Ashray is mentioned, because it's about science of the soul. So this is the part, because Bhagavad Gita, it talks about universal science of soul, right? And since the topic is timeless, the topic of soul is timeless, therefore it is timeless. So one, it discusses topics which are timeless, and second, it contains the knowledge which does not change with time. Means the knowledge, the deliberations which are given in Bhagavad Gita, they themselves do not change with time, right? The topic is timeless, and the discussions on those topics, they are also not changing with time. So, okay. Next question is, give an analogy to compare Bhagavad Gita with other Vedic literature. So we discussed what are the Vedic literatures: Upanishads, Vedas, Puranas, Mahabharata, Vedanta Sutra, and Agamas, Samhitas. So this vast body of literature, and what is the position of Bhagavad Gita there? Large river and reservoirs. Yes. Yes. So this analogy is discussed or is given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita itself. Anybody knows which chapter it is or which verse it is? This analogy, I will first give the answer to this question. This analogy is, if a big reservoir of water is within one's reach, then where is the need to go looking for a well in order to quench thirst? Gita is exactly like the big reservoir of water that explains the essence of all Vedic literature, right? So, Gita is like a big reservoir of knowledge, and other Vedic literature, even if they are vast, but the knowledge contained within them, as compared to Gita, it is like a small well, right? Of course, Vedic literature also contains vast knowledge, but compared to Gita, they are small wells. Okay. Now, tell me, this analogy is given by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita itself. Which verse or which chapter it is? I remember the chapter number, but I don't remember the verse numbers. But roughly I have the idea, it is somewhere here. Somebody can point out the exact verse. Tarun, you can tell the exact verse and the translation if you can post. The verse number, the verse and the translation. Or else I will have to open Vedabase. It's the second chapter. Okay. Yes. So this is 46th verse. This is 2.46. Okay. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Krishna is telling about this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Fine. So here I can give you one task. The task is, can you make more questions from this section? If you can do it, post me later and we can discuss those questions too. Okay, let's go to the next section. So in this section we discussed why Bhagavad Gita is a timeless science. Now we will discuss Bhagavad Gita, the torchlight of wisdom, the nature of wisdom which is given in Bhagavad Gita. So what quality is needed to ask perfect questions? Quick comprehension. Paragraph and text. What quality is needed to ask perfect questions? Let's see who answers first. Quick text search. Humble, yes. Humility. So this is here. It requires great humility to ask perfect questions. Yeah. Okay. So my question is, why do you need humility to ask perfect questions? I would have answered you need intelligence to ask perfect questions. Why humility? Why do you need humility? Like if in the class somebody asks very good questions, what do you say? This person is very intelligent, he's able to understand things discussed in the class, right? Nobody will say he's so humble, he's asking questions. People may say he's arrogant, he's asking so many questions, but nobody will say he's humble to ask questions. So why do you think it requires humility to ask perfect questions? Because we are insignificant. Okay, then means my question is, why do we require humility to ask perfect questions? We are insignificant, then what? How does it relate to perfect questions? somebody, why do we need humility to ask perfect questions? Okay, I also don't know the answer. I have some understanding which I can share, but it is not perfect answer. We have to ask that. Because without humility, all our knowledge will be a waste. Yes. But how does it relate to perfect questions? Asking perfect questions. Means I didn't get the point. Without humility, all our knowledge will be a waste. That's true. But let's say I learned mathematics and I'm humble. So how does it relate to asking perfect questions? If I'm humble, I learned mathematics and I used that mathematics to do something for humanity or something. How does it relate to asking perfect questions? How to define perfect questions? Okay, good question. This is a good question. Okay, what are perfect questions? Yeah, I think this is a good way to a good path to reach the right to reach a good answer. Because when we are humble, we do not challenge the Guru arrogantly. We become ready to listen to the answers. Now, this question is about asking perfect questions, not about understanding the answers. Definitely, to understand the answers, we need humility. But why do we say asking questions also needs humility? Asking questions also needs humility. Why is it so? Yeah. So maybe we can think about how to define perfect questions. What are perfect questions? Okay, so nobody's answering, so I will tell my perspective on this or my understanding about this, which is subject to mistakes. But my understanding is that so good. So we'll start from here. How to define perfect questions? Perfect questions are questions about my existence, about my like, I will give you an example. Whenever we do something, questions which are asked with humility and strong desire to gain knowledge, very abstract answer. Okay, I will give some concrete example for this. So question like, so whenever we do something, the very first question we ask is, okay, who am I? For example, if I go to a class, I get admission into, let's say, IIT. Then the very first question is my identity. So first thing which is given to me is my branch, right? So I belong to electrical engineering, so which means my courses are defined, and I have to go to this class and do this and study that particular subject, right? So if I don't know that I am a student of electrical engineering, a BTech student of electrical engineering, then I will never, I won't know which class to go, what to do, and I may sit in physics class or I may sit in chemistry class, and I will mess up everything, right? At the end, I will fail miserably because I don't even know what is my identity. So very basic question about doing anything is, very basic question before we start doing anything is, what is my identity? So this is a perfect question because doing anything in life, the first thing which we have to understand is my identity. That is why Krishna starts the knowledge of Gita with this understanding who you are. You are spirit, soul, and what does that mean? It is a big discussion further. So why does it require humility? Because this is such a simple question. Means everybody has an answer to this question, but their answers are not perfect. Their answers are fallacious. Their answers are faulty. For example, I will never ask this question because if I am asking this question, it means I am really dumb. I don't even know who am I. So it requires great humility that yes, I really don't know who am I, right? If I ask somebody, I don't know what to do, then that person will say, you must be idiot number one. You don't even know what to do. So, and it requires humility to accept or to understand, to be able to see that really I don't know anything. I may, superficially I may say, or I may say just because I am supposed to ask this question, who am I? I am supposed to ask this question, what is my duty or what should I do? So therefore I am asking. But that is not the thing. Thing is understanding that I really don't know who am I really don't know what is my duty, what should I do. So that requires humility, because it shows that you are so dumb, you're asking the question which people ask before entering IIT. Like somebody is studying in IIT and suddenly he comes to the professor and asks, oh, what is my branch? That is like, oh, what have you been doing for so many years? You don't even know what is your branch. Means you don't even know your identity. So it requires humility. Oh, really, I don't know what is my identity. So, and we see in, okay, so is this, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. I don't know if it is useful. Okay, but I can give you one example from an example of humility. Okay, first a question for those who have been reading Chaitanya Charitamrita for quite some time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed 4 qualities through, or manifested 4 qualities through 4 of his very close associates. So one of those qualities is humility. Who is known for humility? Means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has so many close associates. Out of his close associates, who is known for humility? Who is known for, like, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested this quality of humility through this devotee. Who is that? So everybody might not know, but those who have been reading Chaitanya Charitamrita or hearing Sir reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, they will know it. So who is that devotee who displayed the great quality of humility? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed the quality of humility through that devotee. Nobody. Tarun Prabhu? I'm giving the answer. No. Okay. Ravi Prakash Prabhu, if he's here.
Started.
Sanatan Goswami. Ashley Radha. Sanatan Goswami. So Sanatan Goswami. So let us see now. Sanatan Goswami. He has so many qualities, but one particular quality where he displayed this quality of humility in asking perfect questions. So when Sanatan Goswami met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatan Goswami is the Prime Minister of Bengal, and the question which he asked Mahaprabhu is, Kyami kene more jare tapat hoye, ita nahi jani ke mane hito hoye. Before that comes Apanara hita hita kichu nahi jani, gramya vyavahare pandit sai satya karimani. So he asked this question. He says, he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kyami kene more jare tapat hoye. Okay, who am I? He asked the question, who am I, and why am I suffering with so many tribulations in this world? And then Apanara hita kichu nahi jani. What is good for me? What is not good for me? What is good for me? What is bad for me? Or what is my duty? So I don't know. But still people call me a great Pandit because he is actually very learned. So people respect him a lot. People call me a great Pandit, and I am so foolish that I trust them that yes, they are speaking truth. So this is Sanatan Goswami. Anybody who will hear Sanatan Goswami speaking like this, who is not advanced in consciousness, he will definitely say, this person must be absolutely fool, right? Because he is asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who am I, why am I suffering, and what should I do, what should I not do, what is good for me, what is not good for me, right? So asking such question, it is very humiliating if we ask in front of people, right? So it means that What have you been doing all through your life? You don't even know the basics. Okay, so this is Sanatana Goswami. When he first meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asks this question, and it's difficult to. So if I were to ask this question, I will ask anonymously probably. I don't want to show people that, see, I don't know. Okay, let's move on. How did Arjuna remove his confusion? Next question. How did Arjuna remove his confusion? Okay, but while you are thinking, I think I should share one more point here about Sanatana Goswami. So is it that Sanatana Goswami is just asking out of formality, that okay, when we meet a great sadhu, we must ask these kind of questions, so he's asking like that? So is it just out of formality, or out of just a custom or a social etiquette that he's asking? Surrender to the Lord. Yes. So he's not asking falsely, or he's not asking with any other motive in mind. He actually, okay, so we cannot say he actually does not know, but yes, he actually does not know who is he or what is his duty. And he cannot ask this question to anybody else, because nobody else will also know. Who knows what is the duty of a servant? Only the master knows. So Sanatana Goswami is servant of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is his eternal master. So he only knows what is the identity of Sanatana Goswami and what is the duty of Sanatana Goswami. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sanatana Goswami later on that you are my eternal servant. You go to Vrindavan, do this service, like rediscover or excavate all those places of pastimes of Lord Krishna, write books, guide devotees. Like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him who you are, what is good for you, what is not good for you, what is your duty. Right? All these things Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him. So Sanatana Goswami was not faking it. He actually did not know, and he was asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please tell me, what should I do? Right? So it was not a false question. It was not out of social custom that he asked these questions. These were genuine questions, and he really wanted answers, and he really got the answers. So, okay. So anyways, that was just a deliberation, because at least for me, humility looks very fake. There is one devotee, Pavan Prabhu, he says, anybody can fake humility, but nobody can fake tolerance. And we discussed tolerance in yesterday's discussion. So people can fake humility, but they cannot fake tolerance. Like I can also ask this question, oh, I don't know, who am I? Can you please tell me? But that will be a fake question, because I really, internally I'm thinking, oh yes, I know. Okay. Next question is, how did Arjuna remove his confusion? By surrendering to Krishna. Yes. So here is the answer. He surrendered to Lord Krishna, the absolute truth, to get his confusion removed. These are very simple questions. I think we should make them more interesting. Maybe you can help me in making more interesting questions. Please post your questions so that we can include them here. Okay. Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Why should I read it? Okay, two people are talking. Why should I poke my nose? Or why should I be interested in that discussion? Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Why should I read it? Why should anybody else read it? Because what questions Arjuna asked were perfect questions. Yes? Good answer. Correct answer. But I may say, counter question, Okay, they were perfect questions, but the answers may not be perfect. Answers may be very contextual only for Arjuna, right? Many people say, oh, answers keep changing, they depend on you. Let's say the question is good, who am I? But the answer will depend on you, right? How you take it. Many people will say like that. The answers are subjective, they depend on you. You decide the truth for yourself. You decide who is your God. And yeah, in the last semester I was teaching one course on machine learning. So there at the end, in the last assignment, I asked this question: what is the difference between a human being and a machine, an AI machine? So I didn't have time to discuss the answers because the course had ended. So I didn't say anything. So then somebody asked on the forum that what is the answer to this question, and many people replied that answer depends on you. You decide for yourself. Are you same as machine or different from machine, and how you are different or how you are same? It all depends on your perspective, right? So somebody can say, yes, questions were perfect, but answers may be contextual or just for Krishna, just for Arjuna, because we are also confused. Yes, yes, we are also confused. So the answer is here. It is meant for everybody. Oh, okay. Yeah, sir has answered. Bhagavad Gita is meant for those who wish to transcend all confusion. It is meant for everybody, so not just for Arjuna. Means the answers which are discussed there, the discussions are so thought-provoking or so deep that it is meant for everybody, not just for Arjuna. Yeah, I think this is the answer. The Bhagavad Gita is meant for those who wish to transcend all confusion, and it is meant for everybody. Okay, then you can add that, okay, the questions are perfect and the answers also are perfect. Okay. So it is almost 7:53, so we can stop here. I look forward to you creating more questions, and we can discuss those questions. So maybe you can email to Abhishek Bansal Prabhu. He can collate all the questions and then he can give them to me, right? So Abhishek Bansal Prabhu can coordinate collecting questions that you have. Okay, thank you. And question by Abhishek Prabhu: how to develop humility like Sanatana Goswami? Somebody would like to answer this question. I don't know the answer. How to develop humility like Sanatana Goswami? Can somebody answer, please? Tarun Prabhu or Ashray Mataji or Ravi Prakash Prabhu or Jitendra Prabhu, Dheeraj Prabhu or Archit Prabhu, Harsh, Trilok Prabhu, Ganesh. Anybody would like to answer this question, please? How to develop humility like Sanatana Goswami? Okay, I don't know. So you have to read about Sanatana Goswami and learn from him. Maybe we can read about Sanatana Goswami. We can hear about him from Sir, and then we may learn from his character how he has those qualities. And by associating with him in this way, we know him. Okay, so Sir says in the video that humility can be developed by realizing our insignificance. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is, so I think all of you have access to the videos, those who have registered for the course. Those who have registered for the course, they must have access to the video on their portal. I don't have access. I have to register actually. I have the code. I have to just log in now. Okay. So there in the video, Sir is giving answers. So I hope we can all watch those videos and we can get enlightened about this. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we stop here, and tomorrow we will meet probably same time. Okay, so just one question I have to ask. How many of you are chanting daily? How many of you are chanting daily, and how many of you are doing some service like cleaning or helping your mother in cooking or something else? Okay, no answers. Fine, just do it. Chant daily, chant and do kirtan. You can do kirtan alone or with your parents if they want, if they like. And so, thank you. Hare Krishna.